Hi everyone, happy Saturday. Hopefully, if I can get this done. Oh man, I've already gotten like all kinds of stuff on my mat. My little ghost kitties, I love them. When I when I manage to clear a space actually off my desk that's not covered in coloring stuff, I could actually see the mat, and I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. Um, anyway, I am here with a small supply haul, but a few things, and then the books that I've picked up since my last supply haul. Um, and yeah, uh, just finished 2 weeks of, excuse my language, but 2 weeks of hell, basically, at work. Excuse the mower in the background. If I don't do this now, it's not happening today. But just pretty much got done through 2 weeks of a very intense workload at work. And next week, I still have plenty of work, but the stress level and the number of things that need to be done like immediately is down significantly. And I know I'm jinxing myself by saying all this because I'll go on Monday morning and there'll be another fire to put out. But for today, for the next few days, I can breathe, hopefully unloosen the guitar string that is my back right now. It just happens when I'm super stressed and working long hours. Haven't colored, haven't done anything. I mean, y'all have hardly seen, I feel like I've hardly seen anything coloring related in like 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks to be quite honest, but really the last two. Um, June is just flying by. So, just take a deep breath. Like, my next set of sprint tasks today is complete, and no immediate sprint tasks next week. At least next week is documentation and catching up on ad hoc requests. So, just feeling it loosening, let me tell you. Anyway, okay, now that I've just taken that breather here with you. Um, and there's been some other things going on as well. We'll talk about some of that at the end. Let's go ahead and get to the goods. I'm going to show the very first item that I think is probably the thing everybody's most interested in. Well, if you use watercolor, I love watercolor summer. Watercolor and watercolor summer. Um, Quickly, I'll show you. So, I'm not big on granulating watercolors usually. Usually. I might get into it now. But I don't know why I hadn't really gotten into them in the past, but Gansai Tambi or Kuretake had put out a set of granulating watercolors that I saw a lot of people pick up. And I thought these were the coolest thing because when these like when they do the granulating, it's different colors mixed in. And so a lot of times I like doing backgrounds and I don't want to have to do the work of putting in multiple colors and things like so it's kind of like all the work's done for me. But they're beautiful, and this is the Aurora set. Trying to get a southern person to say that. It kind of looks like all reds and browns, but when you put them on actual paper, this is the result you get. This is the original set, set one. I think this one I just saw was like $15 maybe on Amazon. And I have plans to use this very soon for a background in a Hannah Carlson book, one of the granulating watercolors. Um, and so I wanted to show those because they've put out a second set. And it really bothers me that there's only 5 colors and they gave you the extra pan for mixing. And I'm like, no, that's just give me another color. Anyway, they've put out Granulated Colors 2, which released, I think, around my birthday. I ordered it and I didn't get it till like the first week of June. Um, this one's a little pricey. They've got this one marked up to 25, probably because it's new. Um, And so second set of granulating watercolors from Kuretake also comes with the empty pan. These are the Cosmic set, and so this is what they look like. And the pans are removable, by the way. You don't have to keep them in these little plastic things. These are like, or cardboard. These are like little plastic pans that can pop in and out if you need them to. I'm not going to do it now because we'll take 20 minutes trying to do it. But there's Cosmic Red, Olive Green, Blue, and Violet. Now, I am heavy-handed when it comes to watercolor, so when I went to swatch these, I was trying to remember. I was like, do they granulate better when you paint them dark, or do they granulate better when you really water them down? So the first thing I did was I tried to use a lot of pigment and then add some water to them. And as you can see, you can not really see a lot of the granulation multicolor in them. The red doesn't look like it has anything else with it. Neither does the green. The olive. The green does have kind of a mingledy green blue. Actually, I like how this turned out. This is a really cool, that is a really watered down version of that, and I kind of love how mingly it looks. Cosmic Blue. This is funny to me. If you've ever seen that whole blue gold dress debate, I feel like when I look at the dress, I see it as blue, and it's like this color blue, and it just makes me think of that stupid gold blue dress thing. But you can't see it very well there. And then here you get a hint of what's there, but again, I think the key to really utilizing the granulating part of these watercolors is to make sure you use plenty of water. So like if you want to use them on a coloring page, I highly recommend you either use a heavier page that can take it, like a cardstock or a watercolor actual paper, and you're going to want to use a lot of water because, well, here, let me show you. So this is what they look like, really watered down. Like I just put as little pigment as possible, and it's still hard to even see it on camera. But if you go to the Amazon link I have, they show how these are supposed to look. And they're kind of there. Oh, you can actually see them on the box too. So like the red is kind of a red and yellow, kind of like a Mars color. And you can see it. You can see it there. The olive, here it looks orange. How odd. I can see it's like an, oh, here it is. It's like an olive with some purple in it. And I can see it, but like the way that, hang on. There we go. That's better. So now you can kind of see it's like an olive green with some of the purple mixed in. When I really watered them down, I got them a lot closer to this, but still not quite as mingledy as this look. Mingledy, granulated as that looks. The green's really on point though. Like you still get that kind of real mingled pattern on it. I don't know how else to explain it. That's the word going in my head. So I really do like the green a lot. This is like a blue and an orange. If you look here, that's kind of what it's supposed to be. And I can see it. I can see some hints of orange. And this last one's probably one of my favorites because it's got purple and blue in it, and I'm really digging that. So like if you have both sets, now granted this one I had a little more pigment. I used regular cardstock here, and I used watercolor paper here. That might also be part of it. So like if you really look at them side by side, here you get, so like if I look at the box on this one, it looks a lot, what's interesting to me is this one looks a lot more washed out. Like I can really see the colors intermingle in this one, even though I used more pigment. And then this one, it looks darker on the box, but I have better luck watering them down. So results will greatly vary on these based on how much water you're using. I would highly recommend getting like a little watercolor, testing book or some watercolor paper, some cardstock, anything you're going to use this on. pre-treat some paper with satin glazing liquid, like, and just play with them and get a sense of how they feel. And I think that's, I would say that for any watercolor, but in this in particular, I'm going to have to play with these a little bit before I feel confident putting these on a page. But it does give you a good variety of colors. Like I said, you get some greens and some blues here. Here you kind of had a green orange, but the and this one was like a blue red, blue orange. But like the rest of these are heavily pinks and purples. Here you get a little more variety. You've got some more blues here. You've got another red pink here, and then you've got a little bit more, kind of lighter orange mixed in here. I love the vibrancy of this one, but honestly, I think this purple blue one is probably going to be like, is my favorite color other than the green. But like I said, gotta play around with them. I am no watercolor expert by any means. Like I said, I tend to use too much water. I mean, not enough water because I'm trying to use them in coloring books. And so I'm just giving you a look at what I see when I put them down. So I do like them. I'm glad I got them. I will definitely be using them. I think I can see a lot of places where this will be handy. So excited about those. I'm curious to see. I've had zero time to do anything, watch videos or anything, and I'm curious if anybody else has gotten them and like what your thoughts are. I know Happy Catastrophe has the first set, and she really likes them and has done some cool things with them. It's actually, she's the one that got me. I made that one too big. Oh well. Popping in because I forgot something. um, One of the things I asked for my birthday, if you remember my last supply haul, I tried out some, they're called Molotow markers. And they're German. They come in different packs and types, but the ones I got were, I can't remember what this set's actually called on Amazon, but it says one for all, and so it's got like a small bullet tip and then a bigger bullet tip on the other end. These are these are like the Copics of the acrylic marker world, like when you think of price, and probably like artists tend to use these, I bet, and things like that. They are very pricey, especially if you're not in Germany. But I got the first set because I was like, look, if they're refillable, um, that that's a huge, huge difference, because when I want to use these in color by number books, I'm always worried the marker is going to run out. So like sustainability, excuse me, I hate to have to keep tossing empty plastic away. So my first set was this set of 12 that did really nicely on the page that I colored, the felines page. It is not easily accessible, is it? Let me take one more sweep. Here it is. I have to say, like, they did very well for the price. I particularly like that this one has a black, because I like to do black backgrounds. A lot of Disney books have black outlining. Having one that's refillable in black in particular is really nice. And it's like, I don't necessarily need all the colors, but if I had a good base set of colors, that I could at least fill in like big areas, like here, this picture of Scar, and sorry, my window is bright. The purple and the black are all from the Molotow set. And if I went slower, they'd probably be smoother, but the black actually looks quite smooth. So quite pleased with those. So for my birthday, I figured I would order, maybe one more set. It'd be really great if you could get these open stock, but I don't know if you can. I'll have to look around. It would be awesome if you could. But on the Molotow, so this is the second set. On the Molotow website, you unfortunately can't buy if you're in the US from their website. But trust and believe, they had like a 72 set of these, and they're like a set of Copic prices, like 300 something dollars US. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, don't tempt me with a good time. I do like these markers a lot, but um, thankfully the universe intervened and said, sorry, you can't buy these if you're in the US. So anyway, this set comes with what looks to be like a few little more neon-y colors, which I think will be fun. Um, I was particularly, you get some different, like you get this dark kind of wine red. Oh, I hate when they put these little individual stickers. They drive me crazy. But they have the names, the color names too, so maybe they should stay on. So you have like, so here's a gold and here's a silver. Those will be fun to try. Um, you have kind of a neon-y pink and that light blue, almost neon-like color that I like really well. Your neon fluorescent yellow and orange. You get a brown, like a reddish brown, a dark wine red, a dark green, an olivey green, a lighter, not quite lime green, maybe like a grass green, a lighter green than what you get in the original set. And then my favorite is this dark gray. I've seen this dark gray in a lot of Disney, like the Hachette Heroes books that I want to color in. And it's been really hard to find a good dark gray marker. So I'm really excited about that gray, but I like all the other colors as well. So I do wish I could get them open stock because I probably would build a set of, I don't know, 40 or 50 markers that would just cover like a lot of the base colors that I want, that I use in my color by numbers and on my pages for like my backgrounds. So there is that. Wanted to show y'all that as well. She's the one that got me interested in them, so I thought about her specifically. Next up, I picked up some just clear uh, glitter gel pens. You know, the funny thing is I probably already have a pack of these somewhere, and just haven't put them where they're supposed to be. But a lot of times I've been using a lot of glitter gel pens over the past few months, and I love the iridescent ones, and I do love, you know, I like the Jelly Roll and I like the gravy ones okay, the gel pens, not the glitter markers. Um, I'll talk about that in a minute. But, you know, sometimes there are just unique colors that aren't in those limited gel packs. I do have a So Color gel pen set that I need to use more often. But sometimes I just want something quick I can grab, and so this could go over anything and make it shiny. So good to go there. Like I said, the rest of this is just, I completed a set and then picked up a few other things. A new pencil case. I've been shuffling some pencils around. I got the, when I got the Distress Ink watercolor pencils, the Tim Holtz ones, I ended up putting them in a case and then that shuffled around. I got more, oh yeah, my ink tints went from 72 to 100, so I had to put them in a bigger case. So we've been doing the case shuffle, and I figured out that I was short a case. So pretty little case on Amazon. I think this is different than anything I have. I have a couple duplicates, but for the most part, all of my cases are pretty unique. I ended up, for my birthday, speaking of gel pens, getting another pack of the Sparkle Pop Krazy Pop. The ones I've had for probably 6 or 7 years. And I will say their longevity is decent. It's not the best. I found the Arteza gel pens dry out really fast. I loved them until I would buy them and then a couple months later they'd already be dry. and still have plenty of ink in them. No matter what I did, I couldn't get them flowing again, so those are out. Um, the Pentel dual hybrids are the ones that I found that it doesn't matter how long well, it probably would matter like years and years, but you know, if we do end up in a dystopian hellscape or whatever, yeah, they probably stop working at some point. But I found I can pick those up and they don't dry out on me. Like I don't have to do anything to really get them flowing again. These are kind of in the middle. As long as I'm using them pretty regularly, they work great. It's just when I go a real long period without using them, they get a little skippy. But I figured it was time for a new set, and I asked for that for my birthday. Plus, if I'm not mistaken, I've heard people say that these are refillable now. So, figured I'd do that as well. Okay, that's a weed eater. I don't know what I thought I was hearing. I thought I was literally hearing something flying overhead, and I was like, oh no, I've done jinxed this all. Glitter markers. I talked about, I've talked about this in a previous video. I had gotten, so those gel pens I've got, the other types I have are the Jelly Roll Stardust. These, again, stop, like I've had these for years and they, minus dystopian end of the world scenario, man, I'm gonna have to mark this as having content in it, and based on some of the things I'm saying. Just look, you know, it's been a wild week in the news, and at this point, anyway, um, these, again, the Pentel Dual Hybrid and these do not, the tips don't dry out on me at all. They're capped really well. I did go ahead and try the Grabby, whatever you want to call them, the 18 set. There is a jumbo glitter gel ink set out that I am kind of drooling over because it's these 18 and they're huge, but like it's like 40 bucks, and I'm like, I just don't know about that. I got plenty of gel pens. Maybe if I theoretically use up all my gel pens, I would. And the one thing that makes me hesitate is that the black is not a true black. It's more like a red black, which drives me crazy. Like it's really hard to find a good black glitter gel pen that's not like in another set, but like this one has red tones to it. And that drives me crazy. And there's no clear. This is a metallic silver. So like, I like these, but I have feelings about them. The Sparkle Pops are more like the iridescent. They're kind of similar to the Pentel, the dual metallics, where they'll do like different colors and different light and on different types of paper. So they're a little different. They're kind of like an iridescent type of pen. These are tried and true, but they don't sparkle as much as I would like. So I have tons. One of these days, like I said, my big plan now is to do series where I'm like, here is all the gel pens I use. Here's what I think about them. And then we go on to what else I have. Like do my supply collection like I do my book collection. I've been wanting to do that since the start of the year, and we're already halfway through. Okay, glitter markers. I got these and I liked them at first, but then I tried to use the silver and that thing would not. It, these are not good. These are good for small areas. These are not good for not even larger areas. I was trying to fill in parts of a dress with these in rainbow colors, and I kept having their pump action, so I kept having to pump them. They just wouldn't keep flowing. And like the silver one went completely haywire. Like it just wouldn't flow at all. And it could just be a bum one. I don't want to get rid of these completely because as some other people have commented, these have browns and like red browns. And you don't see that very much. And so I'm mostly keeping them just for that. But they really made me mad. I say that because I was trying to look for some other glitter markers, and I picked up these, which are the Ohuhu ones, and these are the ones I actually wanted to show you. There's only 12. They seem smaller than the Grabby or Gravy, and like I said, there's only half. There's no browns in this one, but I thought I would give them a try. I did see somebody on Facebook that was trying to use them and having also problems with them flowing correctly. So these are also pump action. Haven't tried them yet, but we're going to give them a try. Honestly, I've had better luck so far with like dollar store glitter markers than I have any brand name ones. So, and I got some new blender pencils. So Sugar Sweet, I'm going to put a link to it again down below because I think it's really helpful. When I first started coloring, I did use colorless blender pencils a lot, and then I got out of the practice of using them over the years. But I saw his video, and he had a fantastic video, probably one of the best ones I've seen, on colorless blenders, which ones, and it shows them on a scale of like how much, like if you blend them over, like how far out they'll blend out, and like versus like how much detail work they do. And he had the colors on the side where they blend out quite a bit, and so I decided to pick up a pack of these to try. I was using them on a picture, and I couldn't even tell you at this point which picture it was, but I like them so far, and it's a great video. Highly recommend if you use these or want to get into using these. They are pretty cool. And is that it? Is that okay? That's all except for these. So last supply haul I picked up some Distress Oxide crayons set, and I had them all filled in except for these. And then the one thing I don't like about the Distress Ink Ranger Ink Distress set, Tim Holtz, whatever you want to call them, is you got to buy the sets. You can't just buy them all in one set. You got to buy all the separate little sets. And so Amazon had like 10 packs of them for so much, and I got those, and I was missing colors, so I had to go to the Ranger site to get the rest of them. And there was one set of 3 that was out of stock for like a month, and then I finally got those. So I have all the colors now. I like these a lot because have I activated these? I don't think so. I think I've just rubbed them on here, but I did a picture a couple months ago where I rubbed it on the background of the Amazon page and then wet it, and I really like this kind of textury feel these have. These are very movable. Depending on the paper, you can move it with your fingers, you can move it with water, blend them with like blending sticks and stumps and brushes and things like that. So quickly, and this works out great because I didn't activate them on here with water. I just wanted them down on color. So I had to buy this, then a pack of 3, then a pack of 3. And we're going to hope that's all of them. But like, this drives me crazy. If I ever get into the inks, I'm probably not going to buy all the inks because I don't want to go through this mess. This is ridiculous. Just offer the whole freaking set. Okay. Speckled egg. And they look like this. But yeah, just offer the whole set together. Please. You can offer the separate packs. Oh, and I have a rant about that. About money, companies cash grabbing. But I need to do a color and chat. Crackling Campfire. Wait a minute. No, that's a different one. Crackling Campfire. Maybe I can do a color and chat Sunday. Because I have like coloring gossip and rants I want to give regarding art companies being greedy grumpuses. I want to say something else, but I'm trying not to go too far off into bad language land. I know a lot of you are like me and don't care, and normally I would say, who cares, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm trying to be nice today. Rustic Wilderness. Which is surprising given that my filter feels completely gone. Maybe I'm just so grateful that, like, it's over, quote unquote. Kitsch Flamingo. Hey, that's probably it. But yeah, oh, I have some things to talk about and some rants. Now, that rant will probably be pretty unfiltered, so I'm going to warn you. But yeah, talking about greedy art companies and selling packs and new colors and trying to get as much money as they can. I saw something from Lindsay the Frugal Crafter about it, and oh, she's mad too. Y'all should be mad. Bad behavior. Bad behavior. Sorry, I really should have just done this prior to the video, but this is Prize Ribbon. Now, one of the things I do like is their Distress color set. The colors all look to be the same. So, like, I have the watercolor pencils, crayon looking things, and they all have the same color selection as these. So, like, and I'm assuming the Distress Oxide ink also is in these colors because this palette was probably designed for the inks. Villainous Potion. So if you want to use different types of mediums, you have the same color scheme. Which, granted, I wish it was more than 66, 72, something like that. Oh, yeah, so I guess what I'll do is when I link these, I'll link the bundle I got on Amazon, and then I'll link the individual packs that I got. I think they just released them like a little bit at a time, and I'm just like, just don't do that. Stop doing that. Oh my gosh. Uncharted Mariner. Ooh, I love that color. That teal blue kind of color. So pretty. Tempted to touch it. I need to spray this down. So these are the types of things that I think you're going to have to use and then spray with a fixative. Kind of like you would oil pastels or whatever. Alright, and then the final three that took forever to get. And I'm still missing one. I don't know how that happened. I might have to go through and make sure I just didn't miss it when I... Okay, whatever. Whatever, I'm not doing this again. This is good enough for my purposes. Really and truly, I could have just looked at my watercolor pencils. That's probably what I'm going to do, is look at... I could have just looked at my watercolor pencils and, been like, okay, that's the color. I don't need to swatch these again. That's one of the reasons why I didn't activate them, because I was like, I know what they look like when they're activated. Alright, Bundled Sage. Now, that's interesting. I'll have to go look. It could just very well be I missed it and it's in there. But I'll have to go looking. Anyway, I'll link to these others, but this is a bit of a hassle to get all these. So, I'm just warning you. But that's what the colors look like. They're fun. One of these days, if I can ever get to doing my own art, these are definitely something I want anyway, so I can really get in and like play around with them. Like I said, I do need to probably spray that, but for now, we're going to just put it there. Okay. Books. I've done full flip throughs of all these books. However, I'm going to show you them again just in case you haven't had time to see those videos. But I'm just going to show a few random pages of each book. If you want to see the full flip through, just go look through my playlist the last couple months. They should be there. I usually do my flip throughs in bundles of books. But like one, I just only got one this week. What a shocker. That's so, I know. That's what I said when I did the flip through for that one. Occasionally it'll be just one, but for the most part, they're in groups 3 or 4, but you should be able to figure it out from the titles and the screenshots. Okay. Couple R.J. Hampson books. He has Tiny Tales. And my grand plan for these was on days like the past 2 weeks, if I don't have time to color a lot, I could color out of these books using all the gel pens I've got. Now, if you've had an R.J. Hampson book and you open it up and like you have the regular image on one side and it's all one-sided, but on the left side, sometimes he's got like a little drawing on the back of the page where he has the title of that page you're looking at. He took all of those and put them in like a little book where you could just fill them in. And so like here's bees and snails. These are all different flying bugs. Looks like you got some different animals in here. And here, I'm like, on the days that I really just need 10 or 15 minutes away from work for a minute, I need to sit down with some gel pens or something and just color little bits and pieces. And have I been doing it? No. As you can see, there's 2 of these, and they are small. I have a feeling once I start and I get in the rhythm of it, I'll be fine, but it's hard to show only part of this because of the way these are designed, so. Okay. I did a lyric order, and I'm going to have to do another one, I think, because Tammy sent me another Cats color by number 1 that's coming out that looks interesting. Normally, unless it's color by number, I don't do Disney. However, I love the Disney cats. It's my go-to color by number in the Hachette Heroes because the pages are really simple. But I thought this was adorable. This is one of their little smaller square books. And it's the back has some special pages that are not double-sided, but it is double-sided. I think it'll just be a page at a time that I decide this, but sometimes like I have a feeling most of these I'm going to try to do accurate, Disney colors, but I'm not. There are some pages where I'm kind of like, I want to do something different. And we might do different colors, which is going to be doubly weird. So, and this one will probably have a lot of like gel pen, acrylic marker, maybe some shading, but I'm not, those aren't pages I'm probably going to spend a ton of time on. They're just for fun. Newest book from Whirly Art. It is Secret Fairyland. I can't tell y'all how many times this month I've been looking at these books and I'm like, I miss hobbies. I miss coloring. I miss it. I miss having a life that's not work and sleep. Color by Number Tiny Houses by Alexandra Franzese. This is her newest release as well. She has 30 images, a set without the numbers, as you can see. Even though she's got the palette over here. And those are the ones without the numbers. Same designs, then with the numbers. Fairly easy to read. Might have to squint a little if I'm in the living room, but like just sitting here under this really bright light, I can see them. So, very cute. I haven't bought a publisher type book in a long time. However, this one from Southern Lotus called Fantasyland, I just couldn't resist. Again, I don't have a ton in the cute and cozy genre other than, you know, a few I'm showing you today. And then Whirly Art is really the main one I'm buying. Alexandra Frenzies has a few square type books. Joshua Dunbar's got one that's out. It's a cute guys type coloring book, which is also really cute, and I want to do a picture in. But yeah, there's a few I haven't been able to resist. Creepy Kawaii Halloween from Cider Mill Press. Wow, I was really excited. Tammy from Tammy Colors 2 told me about this one. I do love that these are square. They really, their Color Me Capybaras is probably still my favorite, though I really love this one. The Silent Fright one they did, like the Halloween Christmas one they did last year is really good too. That one's really cute. Of course, I got the Catitude book by Camilla de Erico, and absolutely my favorite book of hers. Shouldn't shock anybody at this point. One of the things I love most in this book is I have a lot of books with cute, fluffy, just precious looking kittens, and these are, of course, all cats are precious looking. But there are some really good, grumpy, scrungly looking cats in here. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that we have some grump and some scrungly looking fellas that look a little rough around the edges. I love that. Anyway, love that book. More cats. Just flipped through this one yesterday. This was my one book this week. New release from Marjorie Sarnett, Country Cats and City Kitties. Feels very much like, as I was saying, when I first started coloring 7 years ago, y'all, Creative Cats and Creative Kittens by Marjorie Sarnett were my favorite books. I love this picture. I really, 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 really want to remember to do this one in September or October. But this is real reminiscent of those books, but like different. It's similar feel with the cats, but also like different looks and scenes and designs. Like, you know, artists change over time, and I love that she keeps some of her elements and then she refreshes others. And so I think this is very cute. Definitely one of my favorites of hers. More. Here's Hachette Heroes. Normally I buy like the Les Grands Classiques, or I'll buy non-Disney in this series, the Coloriage Mystères. But this one I made an exception because these are little like petite princesses, and it's all the Disney princesses in like tiny form. I'm going to show some solutions if you don't want to see them, because it's kind of hard to show you a color by number book like this. But they're like all like little kids, and it's very cute. I actually quite like this. I love this one. So some of them are full page spreads, meaning you've got, well, maybe not. So here's the real beauty of this one. Now all my stuff's falling. It's single-sided, y'all. Now, does that mean there's 100 pictures in here? No, there's only 50. Am I upset about that? No. Because it will take me more than a lifetime. Oh, wait. No. No. There's another page there. No? Huh. That's interesting. I could have sworn all these, okay, maybe not all of them are double-sided. There's a couple that are double-sided, and it's probably the pages that are the full length that need 2 pages, like this. Yeah, 48 and 49. I bet that's what it is. So you do have a few pages. I misspoke. There's a few pages that are like going to be a full page spread, and because of that, they're double-sided. But most of these, or a lot of these, are one-sided. How cool is that? I know, I would love 100 images, but by golly, it sure would be nice to use some alcohol markers in these sometimes. And I have said numerous times I would gladly take just 50 images if they would make them single-sided. Another Worldly Art. This is one of the older books. They have, this is an actual artist, not AI generated or part of a publishing group. I keep saying they because I don't know, have an Instagram where they show drawing for new books and stuff, like it's an actual artist. And these are cute too. I've said this gives me Adventure Time feels, which is one of my favorite shows. And so I think that's why I'm drawn to their art, because that's the feeling I get. Herb Leonard Dragon Fun. These are just stunning pictures. I have other Herb Leonard books, and I've just forgotten I had them, and they are incredible. I did get Tome 11 of the Les Grands Classiques. I think this is the one with all the double page spreads. More solutions, sorry. Like, oh, that one I really want to do. I love Hercules is definitely one of my favorite Disney movies. That and Emperor's New Groove. Hunchback of Notre Dame, for sure. Ratatouille. Mulan. These are just beautiful pictures. So look at that one. I think I've seen someone do that one, and I was just like, dang. That is... Yeah, I've seen somebody do that one too, and that is like incredible. Oh, I love Encanto too. I don't watch a lot of the... Now this is double-sided. I don't watch a lot of the older Disney movies, but probably the ones that came around late 80s, early 90s, like the 90s, 2000s. Those are my jam. Camellia Angel Cove, 50th Dragon themed miniatures. I bought a lot of dragon books this month. I really want to do one in here this month. I talked about making this another project book. They're so cute. And they're really enjoyable. Like, I tell you what, every time finally did a page out of one of her books last month, I finally had the time. When I tell you, I enjoy doing that page so much. Like, I end up doing some extra things to the pages, and they end up looking beautiful, but, like, they're not complicated to me, not for me, and I don't know. It's just something about them. Summer Mandalas by Alexander Franzese. Hopefully I'm showing you the updated version. I think I am. Yeah, because we had the little capybaras in this one. We'll be getting to this summer. Was planning on it this month, but you know how that's been going. Older R.J. Hampson book I just decided to pick up because I wanted to is the Pirates book. Oh, I know why. Because he went back to this one, and his original books were released with 2 sets of 24, and they were duplicates. But if you've had any of his later books, he does 1 set of 24. The second set usually has a black background with like some differences in the art, which is incredibly cool and unique, by the way. I don't know any other coloring book artist that's doing that. But he's going back some of his older books and doing that. And he did that with Pirates. And I love black backgrounds. So when he started doing this, and I had waited to get Pirates, and he updated it, I was like, oh yes, we're doing this, because I do love me some Pirates. And of course, I didn't do any page for Mermaid. I know. So there's like the black ground. This is where I'm going to spend the majority of my time in his books. But occasionally, I might do. So it's the same set of images, just a little bit of a difference in some of them. And you don't have the black background on the first half. So, finally, I picked up 2 more Linka Filaninko Artist Edition books because this is some of the best paper I have worked in so far in all my years of coloring. And when I colored in her Hello Spring last year, I couldn't get over how well the watercolor pencils and the colored pencils did in that book. And I love how she does her animal art. So this is Spirit Animals Wisdom. And of course they're single-sided. This was like a birthday splurge for me, for sure. You can get her books on, I love that one. You can get her books on Amazon. You can get her books on Etsy. She is cool in that she provides a lot of varieties. So you can get like the artist edition, maybe grayscale and line and art. I don't know for everything, but at least some of her books you can get both. You can get the digital version of the books. I get the grayscale, but she does a line art version. You can get the Amazon version of her books. Like she has a lot of different ways that you can access her art, and she does have single pages as well. Magical Seasons is a little unique. It's one of her older books because she offers both here, we'll just show a portion. She offers both the grayscale and the line art version. Now granted, it is two-sided that way, so you kind of have to pick one. You have to be strategic, like if I want to do the fox and I want to do this one, I need to make sure, like if I do the line art on this one, then I'll have to do the line art on this one. And like, if you use something that bleeds. If you don't, then you're good to go. So anyway, beautiful books. Her people are amazing, but it's her people and her animals that I'm really drawn to. And so even her books with people and animals in them, I dig. So, wow, that was a lot. Okay, so with that note, that is what I have for now. Gravy, I believe. I saw something somewhere about them coming out with those jumbo glitter gel pens, like the really big ones, and doing a pack that has both like the 16 single color and then like the 12 iridescent or whatever. Like it's a huge pack of gel pens, and there's no telling what it's going to cost, but I didn't see it on Amazon yet. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I have plenty of iridescent and glitter stuff, so I don't really need any more. Maybe if I run out of some of the other stuff, I could try them. But really, other than that, I'm getting to a point where, unless I'm buying extra, like, pencil cases or little things like that, my primary focus, I think, for the immediate future is going to be refills for my Copic collection. I need to start getting those. Some of them are starting to dry out a little bit because I've actually been using them a fair amount, and plus I've had some of these Copics for 5 or 6 years. So I do want to get a refill for. I do have the full set, and I do want to get refills for the full set. So I think that's going to be my next big thing, because that's obviously going to be an expense. My current job, my bonus falls off towards the end of the year. So it's kind of, I better go get those now. And then I'm kind of going to be in a situation where, again, if nothing, unless I'm buying something to replace something, or more of these come out or something like that, I'm pretty happy with all the pencils I have and things like that. It's time to start going through and seeing, what I truly do love and want to keep, and if there are things I can give away. So, because we're kind of just reaching that point where I have plenty to last me a lifetime. Anyway, I'm going to stop it here. I do have things to talk about, not so great things and things like that, but I might try to do a color and chat tomorrow. I know that's a lot of videos thrown at you in one weekend, but that's kind of how things have rolled. If I don't do it Sunday, I might do it Wednesday. That might be a good one to do Wednesday. I either continue my Dark Fairy Tales picture, or we might do something different, because I've had some people ask about budget-friendly watercolor stuff, and so I kind of want to do a picture with some more budget-friendly stuff. And I have an idea to go through my watercolor collection, show you what I have, the inexpensive items, show you quickly how they lay down, and like do a collection thing. So I have things and ideas, and what's funny is not a lot of it's actually involving coloring. It's just talking about coloring, but gotta do what I gotta do. Anyway, hope y'all have a great weekend, and hopefully nothing crazy happens. Crazier. I mean, it's every day, isn't it? If you live in the U.S., it's just every day there's something new. And I could talk for an hour about that, but we're not going to do that. Because we're going to try to keep this light and somewhat light. As light and airy as you can make the ongoing dumpster fire that is my life. If you don't have dark humor about it, then what are you going to do? You just not, the only way through it is through it. And, you develop a dark sense of humor about that kind of stuff. So, but not going to share much about that here, because if I do, then, might get my video restricted. Anyway, talk to you soon. Bye for now.